I'm Daniel Wilson, Executive Director of the North Carolina Rural Water Association. Been here for 13 years. There's 10.5 million people in North Carolina, and 80% of those get up every day and use the resources of a public water or wastewater system. It means over 8 million people a day use the services our industry provides across the state. But to make it more personal, and the part that I love about the industry is, where do you go to work in your local community that you touch every person every day? You make a direct impact on their lives. The product and services that you provide touch every single person. They bathe in it, they cook with it, they wash with it, they even make their baby's formula with it. There is no other area of public and environmental health that affects the population like the local water and wastewater utility. And it's an honor to serve as Executive Director of North Carolina Rural Water and help those systems do what they do every day. That fulfillment is unmatched, getting to work and serve the local communities. So a lot of people ask me, why choose this industry? So you hear that part, but it's also an unbelievable career. It's one of those jobs that if you enjoy lifelong learning and working hard, you can go as far as you want to go in this industry, and I'm proof of that. When I started out, I read meters and run the backhoe and dug ditches and everything else you can imagine doing. And today I literally go and meet with congressmen and senators. You literally can work yourself up to anywhere you want to go in this industry. So I invite you to get involved with our industry. We have helped develop in the last year this pipeline to get into the industry, our apprenticeship and even our pre-apprenticeship program for middle and high school students, as a mechanism to enter our industry. It's absolutely an unbelievable opportunity. Please contact North Carolina Rural Water Association. We would love to have you participate in our apprenticeship program. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Lisa Smith-Perry. I am currently the General Manager and Executive Director of West Carteret Water Corporation. We are a public water utility serving western Carteret County. I started here in January of 1986 after being hired by an engineering firm to open an office for a future water department. As it turns out, this water department or water system was a company that I had done some survey work for by sitting in front of grocery stores and trying to sign people up when I was in high school. So when people ask me why did I choose the water career, I don't really think I chose the water career. Everything just kind of come together and it chose me. I had actually planned to be a music major and a business major, and on my second year finishing at a community college, right before going to college, this was recommended to me, and I interviewed, and here I am today. So I started off at the very bottom, and when I say the very bottom, I literally started at the very bottom, but with that came an education that was second to none. I learned from the engineering firm, from our inspectors, from contractors, from hydrologists, from financial individuals. I got an all-encompassing education on the management and the running of a water utility. And I would highly encourage you, if you're a young person and you think this is something that you would like to get involved with and that you would like to not only have a job but to have a career, reach out to your local water department or your local sewer department. Let them know that you think that you may be interested in a career in that area. Ask them if you can come over and shadow them. It doesn't have to be at the water plant. It doesn't have to be at the sewer plant. It could be in the office. It could be in the billing department. Any one of these areas. It could be in meter reading. But just if you think that you're interested in that, then reach out to them. Reach out to the other agencies across the state. North Carolina Rural Water is a great resource for training. There would be a great resource for letting you know which systems are in your area and who to contact. But reach out to somebody today and understand that water is a vital resource to us all. We may have one of the best industries, or we feel like we have one of the best industries that there is. As far as utilities go, they're all very important. One of the things I would really like to point out today that we do not take a bath in electricity. We take a bath in water, or a shower in water. We need the lights on maybe, but in the end we are bathing, we are cooking, we are drinking, we are washing our cars. Water is a vital, essential part of our daily lives. So having a career in water treatment is not something to be taken lightly. There's a lot of training that goes into that, but there's an awesome responsibility. And when you take on that awesome responsibility, how good do you feel about the position that you're in? So today we're going to explore West Carteret in an effort to encourage you to choose water treatment or wastewater as a career path. This is our customer service area. Anyone who wants to set up an account here, change their billing status, anything that happens including customer complaints and resolutions, they all happen here. Once meter readings are downloaded, we've got to get the bills out. So there are several people responsible for that. So this is just part of our billing department. This is the place where we really get down into the weeds with meter reading. Our meter readers sit here during the day and they look and analyze readings from customers to see if they have a leak or to see if their usage is normal. You can see here, we really don't know what's going on here, so we're following up with this customer to find out because they've got spikes. So if you're interested, this is another area where you can get involved, meter reading. One of my favorite parts of working for a water system is expansions. Everybody gets involved when it's expansion time. And this is where expansions happen in the office with our administrative assistant. She handles all of our project management. As you can see here, the system is rather large. We started off just in this area in the beginning, and now we encompass all the areas and even some not even shown. Project management is a great place to work in a water utility. We're getting ready to take a tour of West Carteret Water Corporation's treatment plant. This is where it all happens. This is another area of our water treatment plant. We are today in our water treatment lab, and we are with Joel Engel, who is going to be our first apprentice. And we are here also with Lisa Garino, who is our lab manager and has been working closely with Joel for the last year.
Hello, my name is Joel and I've been working in the water industry for a year. I think it's a very wonderful industry to get into if you're looking at different industries to choose and decide. The possibilities are literally endless, and you can go all the way from meter reading to valve working to plant operating. There's so many possibilities out there for you in what you would like to do and what you would like to decide to do. I'm so honored and grateful to be the first person in this apprenticeship program for the North Carolina Rural Water Association. I'm so excited to see what you have to offer to this program also.
Hi, I'm Lisa Garino. I'm the lab manager here at West Carteret Water, and this is where we do our lab analysis so that we can bring you quality on-tap water.
We are in our SCADA room. This is where we can operate our entire water treatment plant, including the wells and the elevated tanks, from this one computer. Brian is going to show you a flow chart of where the water goes as it's leaving the wells and coming into our water plant.
Okay, we got 8 wells out in the Croatan, so they're not shown on the screen, but I have controls of them right here. So the water from the wells comes in to our two 50,000 gallon raw water tanks, aerated for hydrogen sulfide. From that point, they come inside the building. These pumps repump the water over to our iron vessels. There's 4 of those. Once that water's treated, it's piped and comes back around, back into the plant, and goes through the train of water softeners, which we have 8. Once that water's treated, comes around, is piped into our color vessels. There's 6 of those. It removes the natural tannins that's in the water. Once that's done, it comes back around to the front of the plant, gets treated with chlorine, goes outside the building, across the parking lot, back behind the treatment plant to 2 detention tanks. Gives the chlorine time to react and disinfect the water. From that point, it's repumped again with our high service pumps. Ammonia is added to form chloramines, and from that point it's pumped into the system and to our 3 elevated storage tanks.
Brian, while we're standing here, let's take a look at those 3 elevated tanks on your screen here.
Okay. And this screen will take you anywhere you want to go through the whole treatment process and into the system. So this is the plant tank, tank that's on Highway 58 heading north, and this is the one that's on Highway 24 at the Hibbs Road intersection. This one holds 650,000 and these 2 hold 750,000 apiece.
Thank you, Brian.
I'd say the computer room, this is the control panel, which is kind of mirrors what I have on the screen. So this gives you some readings as well, and some controls for the wells. Inside is all the computer cards, the CPU, things that are need to be constantly updated through the years. So it helps us to stay ahead of any expansions that we have. So ongoing, never ending. And now through technology, thank goodness, and I don't do well with that, but I do enjoy having the opportunity to run the treatment plant on my cell phone, and it makes a big difference when you can do that remotely. If you have an issue, somebody's here, you can help them quickly on the phone, or this gives you, more, control, not being here. So I enjoy that. It used to be that way years ago, so it makes things a lot easier for me and for the operators.
We're now inside of our water treatment plant. Here are our process pumps that are pulling the water from the wells throughout the water treatment plant. Before the water goes through the softeners and the color removal vessels behind me, they also go through iron removal, which we're going to walk back there and take a quick glance at that section. This is our iron removal room. These vessels are very large and have to be backwashed frequently. Each one of the vessels inside of this plant has a media or has like sand filters or resin on the inside. They get dirty, so we have to clean them with salty water. Once we clean those, it's like throwing out the bathwater. We've got to get rid of that. So in doing so, we pump that back out of these vessels and into larger vats or areas outside where it can dry.
The pipes are different colors so we can keep up with the direction of flow. It shows you the incoming and the outgoing. So the yellow ones are only used during the discharge or the backwash. The gray and the green color is the gray is the inlet. The greenish color is the outlet. And also the blue that's coming in is the actual water that we use for backwash, which is system water. And it comes in at a rate of about 2,400 gallons a minute. So the whole process takes quite a bit of water, and it takes about 8 hours out of the day to backwash them.
We were talking about the backwash process earlier, where we actually clean the media or the sand and resin that's inside of the tanks. When that dirty water is pumped out into these drying beds, the liquid evaporates and we're left with solid material. That solid material is then removed and discarded. We also talked about to the water treatment plant, once it leaves, it goes to elevated storage. This for us is tank number 1. It's a 600,000 gallon tank, and we have 2 more within the system that are 750,000 gallons each. During the treatment process, water either goes to the elevated tank or it goes into the distribution system. It goes where there's least resistance. So let's just take, for example, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Everybody's using water. If the water plant is running, then the water's going to be going into the system. But late at night when everybody's sleeping, that's when the elevated tanks start to fill.
Yeah, so the elevated tank, in case you're wondering, the lights is on top. Somebody has to climb that to change the light on the top and on the rails. So that would be me. I enjoy being up there. It's quite a view. We're at the back of the treatment plant. These 2 tanks here are 25,000 gallons apiece. And this is the water that once the treatment plant treats it, filters it, chlorinates it. It goes in these 2 tanks. There's some detention time there for the chlorine reaction. At that point, it goes back into the plant, into the front part. It's repumped, and it's pumped to system pressure. And that's also where we add the ammonia, which creates the chloramines, which is what our system is, chloramines. And from that point, it's either the tanks or the system. And that it gives you your system pressure once it leaves here into the tanks in the system. So
This is the salt that we have delivered to us each week. That salt gets combined with the water here, and we create a brine solution that is used to backwash, which we've talked about a couple of times. This is the first step in the water treatment process. When the water leaves the well field and is pumped to the water plant, it goes into the aeration, or goes through aeration and into the ground storage tanks before going through the water treatment plant. The North Carolina Rural Water Apprenticeship Program is second to none. If you want a rewarding career that you can be proud of, I encourage you to reach out to them to get more information. Today, we have enjoyed having you tour our plant with us, and we look forward to seeing you in the future at a Rural Water Conference.